Every year, a bunch of elites kidnap normal folk like us. Where'd they get you from?
Wyoming. Mississippi.
Orlando.
And hunt us for sport.
We were the first to tell you earlier this week about that NBC Universal movie, and now they're facing some backlash for moving forward with this controversial film, The Hunt. The film is about wealthy liberals hunting and killing deplorables on a reserve. The studio pulled ads for the film after the El Paso and Dayton shootings, but a source told Fox News, quote, "There are no plans to not release the movie," double negative, "no plans to move the release." Will this be a decision they come to regret? Joining me now is actor Robert Davi. Now, Robert, thanks for being here. You have starred in your share of thrillers, Die Hard, the Bond movies. Universal says The Hunt is a satire. Your thoughts on the cultural impact of this film being released at this moment?
You know, the cultural impact, Hollywood has a responsibility on its cultural impact to society. And we just saw what happened in Dayton, Ohio, and in Texas. What we saw happened in Las Vegas, which was a shooting gallery for someone that we don't know much about what happened there, do we? And to do a film at this particular time, listen, freedom of speech, freedom of art, culture, I like that. I like people being able to express themselves. But there's this responsibility to culture. How many kids are responsive? Who knows who'll kidnap who, a group of people, and say, let's have fun? No, I haven't seen the film. I've just heard the controversial about it. But the filmmakers have done controversial films before. Craig Zobel has done Compliance, which was about a female being abused in a McDonald's or something to that effect that people at Sundance walked out on. But and the other, Jason Blum and his company, they did Whiplash, and it was a financial failure, but it won the Oscar. But he did another film that was very successful, that was very controversial. There's a responsibility in our business to not have this something like this happen.
Well, I think when we know these mass shooters respond to violent imagery, to set up a picture where you have Americans hunting other Americans, this is problematic. The president seemed to talk about the hunt today. Watch this.
You talk about racist. Hollywood is racist. What they're doing with the kind of movies they're putting out, it's actually very dangerous for our country. What Hollywood is doing is a tremendous disservice to our country.
Robert Davi, the filmmakers of The Hunt claim that the liberal elite hunters get their comeuppance when the deplorables turn the table on them. But why is it acceptable to kill your political adversaries, whether right or left? Isn't that normalizing political murder, homicide?
It's wrong both ways. You know, I mean, imagine having a film where people are kidnapping Muslims or black people or Italians and having a shooting gallery, and it's a no, or Jews. It's a no-win film. I don't care if there's comeuppance. We shouldn't be propagating that in society. It's so dangerous. People out there in our society have problems. The mental illness. This will affect someone, and someone will, who knows what idea that might generate from this film. It's not the kind of entertainment we should be doing.
Well, it's a poisonous idea, and we've been hearing a lot politically about the rhetoric people use and how that leads to bad ends. Why don't potent images and storylines, far more persuasive than anything someone says, why isn't that considered also a variable here? We have to move on to this uproar.
You know what Lenin said about, you know what they said about cinema? It was the most important tool for propaganda.
Yeah, so, well, let's pray it's not, but I fear you're right. Robert, I want to move on to this uproar over billionaire Stephen Ross. He hosted that big fundraiser for Trump's re-election campaign today. A few protesters lined the streets outside his Hampton, New York home today, but the real backlash comes from celebrities like Chrissy Teigen and Michael Moore, calling for people to cancel their Equinox and SoulCycle memberships because Ross is an investor in those overpriced gyms. What's really going on here? How does canceling a gym membership stop an administration you might disagree with?
Again, it's the wrong idea. We can't be doing this to each other in the nation. We should be doing things to unify. You mean to tell me that anyone that supports someone else and gives money to a campaign, you know, this is taking it to the next level. George Soros, how much money has he given to people? The Koch brothers and other organizations. How much money has Bob Iger from Disney given to the Democratic campaign or Katzenberg? Are we going to start boycotting every business that gives money here and gives money there? It's a no-win situation, and I disagree with it. We have free, do what you want to do.
It's the politicization of everything, Robert, everything. And the president ended up hauling $12 million at these two fundraisers today, $2 million more than first reported. Now, piggybacking off of what you were just saying, actor Armie Hammer is also jumping on the shame train. He's calling out a major entertainment executive supporting Trump, tweeting, hey, while everyone seems to be on the Equinox thing, it might be a good time to mention that one of Trump's largest financial contributors is chairman of Marvel Entertainment, Isaac Perlmutter. Just saying. Robert, it seems to me that this is the real hunt, an attempt to purge anyone from Hollywood who might support someone that the majority disagrees with there.
I think people should Google Armand Hammer, who spent many years in the Soviet Union. And Armand Hammer, who said to Al Gore Sr., I will make your son, Al Jr., president of the United States. I mean, there is a culture. And I've met Armie Hammer. He's a nice guy. But again, this is freedom. This is what happens to our democracy, Raymond. What's happening to our democracy if people are afraid to, if they peel off votes, if kids are afraid to vote or speak their mind, it does have an effect. These celebrities do have an effect. And it's Robert, irresponsible to do that.
Before I let you go, 30 seconds, tell me very quickly about this core idea you have, almost a neighborhood watch, as a result of these mass shootings we've seen.
Well, since 2001, I was on Homeland Security Policy Institute at George Washington University. When I saw the things happening and people not knowing what to do, I came up with an idea that at Homeland Security they did a white paper to protect the critical infrastructure and the soft targets of America. Civilian Patrol 93, based on those guys that in Pennsylvania took the plane and went into the ground. It's something right now that can help this nation. The woman in San Diego that saw something and was afraid to say it because of political correctness. A Civilian Patrol 93, and it's much more nuanced than 30 seconds. It's not weaponry. It's an intelligence for the communities to work CODIS with law enforcement. They are sensitized. They are a small background check. But we need eyes and ears in our community. It will save lives.
Robert Davi, I thank you so much. I hope people pursue the idea. I know you've written about it at length. Thank you for being here.